Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report with Sam Whitfield.
You know, to be honest, at this point, the theme is the most exciting thing about the show because
it's trolling you.
Well,
You're being trolled by your own technology.
You would almost think that this is an intentional bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although the theme worked this time, so everything's good.
Yeah, it worked for about 10 seconds on my end.
That was lovely. But no, I mean the whole week is granted I had a death in the family, so I've kind of been a bit out of the news cycle, but I did check and nothing happened other than the fact that I guess the Department of Homeland Security guy got impeached or something like that.
Which gonna amount to basically nothing in the long run.
Yeah, Mayorkas. As if that's going to stop the flood of illegals coming in. So
but you get the virtue signal in an election year.
That's all they really want.
Yeah, that's all they want.
Yeah, well,
that goes for the Republicans involved in it too, right?
Oh yeah.
They just want their time on TV to talk about their pork barrel spending for their friend's company that's totally not corrupt.
Why, I'm neither a Democrat or Republican. I'm an independent.
Yeah, I mean, look, at this point, everyone's saying, if the election were held today, Trump would win. And I'm like, okay, then why don't we just get the shit?
Get the shit over with.
I know it's February, but why don't we get this shit over with now? And just if it's true, why do we have to wait for October or November, and people are also I don't know if we talked about this last week, but this is one thing I wanted to ask you about, because the one thing I keep hearing, Max, is that Michelle or Michael, if you're conspiracy oriented, is going to run at the last minute as the Democrat candidate. Now, I don't think Michelle wants to even run. That's just me.
They would have set that up before now. I hate to break it to people, but it's a little late in the game for something like that. A Gavin Newsom, I could see happening. He's been laying groundwork for something like that. But there's no, this is what, oh my God, we had your friend on, the strategist, right? And he was saying the same kind of thing. You have to build a fucking ground game. It doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from actual volunteers actually on the ground, right?
Yeah. And that's what Luke was saying. And
yeah, Luke, sorry.
No, it's fine. No, and he and I actually talked about this because Gavin Newsom, he did have a ground game
right
for a bit, but then China actually ironically bit him in the ass because his big thing was, well, we don't have enough money to clean up the homeless.
We can only clean it up for China.
That's exactly what happened. He said that they didn't have enough money, and then Oh, when you know it, the commies are coming to town, so yeah, now we have the money to relocate all the homeless. So, which by the way, like, what do you want to bet? He just sent all the homeless people to China.
China or Florida?
Well, like, okay, so like the Chinese are like notorious for Oregon harvesting, right? Allegedly, they're notorious for Oregon harvesting. So you have all the homeless people in California. What are you gonna do with them?
Chinese organ farm.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
yeah, exactly. So
Sam is solving problems here. Just sell the homeless to China. There you go. Just take a picture of Sam and put some nice, strong font, and it says, "Just sell the homeless to China." Sam Whitfield.
No, I mean I'm thinking that's what Gavin Newsom might already be doing is selling them to
Right,
China.
and you make the case why it's a good thing. I got you.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Organs.
they're already, like the Chinese are already harvesting the organs of their people. So, and
What, you think we could get a better deal on them?
Maybe. Only if they're Uyghurs.
Well, I'm saying, like, American organs might just be worth more.
No, probably. I mean, that's probably one of the darkest jokes I've ever made on the show.
And I'm here for it.
Sure is.
But like at the same time, like I hate to say this too, but like but like our homeless might also be our most valuable export at this point.
Our homeless are our most valuable export. Sam Whitfield.
Well, I mean, like, what do we have at this point? Real.
You're right. We have lots of homeless people.
Yeah, but like what else are we exporting?
Troops.
Yeah, well,
Our money.
well, yeah, we yeah, we export our money, which China like already has a buttload of that, and war. We seem to be great exporters of that too. And like, I do love this. I guess Zelensky is like saying that the House of Representative needs to like pass the budget, for Ukraine, and like,
Yeah, so he can have more money.
I'm sorry, but fuck off, Zelensky. Like, we don't need you to tell us how to like do our Congress.
Well, clearly we do, because we didn't give him unlimited money forever.
Well, I mean, but we did though, Max, and then he ran out of unlimited money. So
it wasn't unlimited and it wasn't forever, right? So Zelensky has to come in and tell us how to do our job.
So he's basically trying to do the unlimited money cheat code from the
See, I think we have a solution to these two problems. Is instead of sending him money, we could export him homeless people.
Yep, homeless organs so he can sell them.
No, there we go. No. I got it. Whoa, more.
Off to the Ukraine with you.
Let's send our homeless people to fight in Ukraine.
Yeah, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Well, and I mean, Coach Red Pill, he looked, he looks homeless.
If they're on fentanyl.
So, But yeah.
Sam, I
So
learned something this week. Did you know that the whole idea of lacing weed with fentanyl is essentially like a myth that the media made up?
no.
Yeah.
Breaking.
Yeah, because the boiling point of fentanyl is such that you cannot smoke it or vape it.
Did not know that.
Oh, that's interesting. Chibi
Also,
says
did you know 80% of police in New York City believe wholeheartedly that if you touch one little grain of fentanyl that you can die. And that's not how it works.
I've heard that, but I've always kind of been like, that's a bit
That can't be true.
You can touch fentanyl such that you absorb enough to OD, theoretically, right? But you would have to just like roll in a pile of it naked for hours.
So it's not like if you just pick something up and like
Nope. No, and so those videos of
So you
cops
can't pick it up and die.
I don't know if you've ever seen, there's videos of cops and they're like searching a guy and they find a bag
yeah.
and they pass out on the spot. They're faking it. Either they're all faking it, like the cops all made it up, or that person believes it so much that they have a psychosomatic episode, but they're not ODing. You could give them a drug test.
What does fentanyl look like actually? I've no
powder. It's a fine powder.
Okay.
It looks like what you would think of cocaine looks like, or heroin. It's a powder.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So then, like, yeah. If you touch like just a little gram of like wheat of like crack, it's not gonna kill you.
Right. You can absorb it through your skin, which is the grain of truth that the myth is based on.
Right.
But the amount of fentanyl you would need to rub on your skin and stay there for a very long time for that to happen, they don't tell you that part.
Oh,
Of course not.
Of course not.
Because cops like people having these like insane, like fentanyl's dangerous. You don't need to overplay it, but they do, right?
They overplay everything.
Of course.
I'm telling you right now, you could find like 10 videos, I think, from the last couple of years of cops, and they're searching a suspect or they're going through a car or something, and they just fall down like, oh my God, he touched the fentanyl. They are faking it. 100%. They are fake. Like, I'm not like to the point that you know, that's the kind of thing if you were lying, they could sue you for. And I'm telling you, they're faking it. Whether they know they're faking it or not, they are faking it, because that's not what happens.
Yeah.
And so the point is, the drug war scaremongering, lying about the substances that makes it worse, especially among junkies who are like, but you lied. That's not something from the ancient past. We still do that. The drug war is a mistake, as I've said on this show many times, at least the way we're doing it. What's going on now is just it's a joke. These cops believe in fairy tales and fall over on the side of the road because they believe in fairy tales.
Just following orders.
Sorry, officers, but if you are that stupid, you don't belong on the force.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up
dangerous. Then crack open a book and learn what its boiling point is. For one, learn how much it would take to absorb through your skin. You know, they all want to act like they're medical experts. I've seen cops all the time when they're in a paramedic situation. Well, can't you know the most basic thing about the drugs that you claim are such a huge scourge on society? So that you're not literally faking it like the girls at the Salem witch trials? Come on, cops. You're better than this. You have to be. And if you're not,
Are they really?
You don't belong on the force.
Yeah. Well,
We're just following orders. Prove that wrong, Max.
Yeah, well, if your order is, hey, be a stupid person, and you follow it, you know what I mean?
well, what's going to be interesting, Max, is we are going to have your friend.
Yeah,
We are,
Andre Sherm, professionally known as Sicktanic, and
yeah,
indie hip hop
Satanic.
legend. But
Yeah,
not
we are,
about that. Not about his career in music. Actually, it's about a more personal thing. It's about his mom, who was murdered brutally when he was 1 year old. And we've talked about it, but an investigation was done by the Mouth of Madness podcast, and they've done a great job, it seems to me, in bringing this case to life. And it's a wild fucking case. I hate to say it,
yeah.
'cause I know the guy, and I didn't know this about him, and I hate to but this is one of the craziest true crime stories I think I've heard in the longest time, at the very least.
I would agree with you there, Max. I've listened to both episodes now, and it's absolutely freaking wild.
I started listening to the podcast today. I'm just episode 1. I didn't get very far into it because we have company, and so
Yeah, it's understandable.
but just from the outset, this podcast should get the attention that podcast Serial got like a few years ago. Remember that true crime podcast about the high school guy in Baltimore who got falsely arrested, and it was this deserves that level of exposure.
Agreed.
But
there's very few cases that are like it, which is interesting. And by that, what I mean, and the elephant in the room, and I'm gonna try. I think we're all gonna try and be as respectful as one can be about this. But his mom was a sex worker, for whatever you want to call it, right? And
right,
that is why a case like that. And I hate to say that, you know what I mean? Because again, I think he's a great person, and he didn't really even know any of this. But
how
she was in a dangerous lifestyle, right? And in the time frame in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, a lot of cops in big cities were like, oh, it's just another dead hooker. Now, I get how it's easy to kind of look at it like that. But again, that's my friend's mom. You know what I mean? She was the person. Her name was Jennifer. You know what I mean? She grew up. She had family. She was a human being, and she got dumped like a piece of garbage by some horrible people. And the cops were, oh well, okay, you think she's a bad person and made bad lifestyle decisions. I get that, right? But that doesn't justify her being murdered or overlooking, the life of a person that was taken from them unjustly, a family destroyed.
Yeah.
And that's, and so, yes, if you want to look up this podcast, Mouth of Madness, Who Killed Jennifer is the series. The 4th one will be coming out Sunday night, actually, right before we do the interview. And I don't know how it ends. I'm gonna be honest with you. He hasn't told me I don't think anybody knows except the podcast people and him at this point. But I think that they've basically solved the case in a sense that they haven't brought a legal case, but it seems that he seems satisfied that they've found out enough that there should be people talking about it, and he does seem very frustrated that again, just like always, his mom's getting kind of overlooked by the media now. Well, as the story comes out, this is a story about police corruption. This is a story about your tax dollars being used to cover up the murder of a young woman. And
Yeah.
I agree with him. Why aren't people interested in that? So yeah, of course, I believe he said we're the only people who have asked him for an interview since the podcast.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And like I'm very appreciative of the fact that we will have him on, but it kind of sickens me to think that
we're the only ones.
Yeah, like true crime is super popular, even if you look at it without, like, I'm looking at it, the human element of this guy's mom was a person who deserves some fucking justice, right? But even if you look at it from an entertainment perspective, this is the kind of true crime case you don't get every day for your podcast. That's probably why these people invested so much time and money to some degree, right? Because they were like, wow, a story like this that's never been told on a true crime podcast, and it's from America. A lot of those guys are running out of American stories, so they're doing like Chinese stories and Japanese stories, right? And here's a story right from your own backyard, essentially, of everything, the scandal, the corruption, violence, madness, families pulling themselves together. A young man who, despite all of this, now has no family, raised in a kind of tough environment, turned into he is. When I say he's an indie hip hop legend, I'm serious, right? I know you guys probably don't know him, but legend in the sense that before I ever saw him live, there was legends about a satanic show. We're definitely going to talk about this because I think you'll find it fascinating.
It's
so violent. The big one was him and his wife will beat each other up on stage. I heard that for years, Sam. It was like he was this crazy musician that was getting violent on stage, right? Like Gigi Allen or something.
Right.
I want you to keep that in mind when you talk to him, because then I went and saw his show. I talked to him, online a bit. I'm pretty sure I had an interview with him on my show back then, but even if not, he was in the circle, and I was like, oh, he's just like a normal dude, but he had this reputation of like the crazy, like, oh my God, if you go to his show, you might get hurt,
Yeah, like,
or he's gonna summon the devil or something. And it was just, no, what it really is, the motherfucker's intense, like really, really is. And I mean, the genre of music he does, I say hip hop. One, because a lot of people use the term horrorcore. He's never used the term for himself. And I think a distinction that makes it fair not to call him just a horrorcore artist, because there's kind of like a low status about that.
Yep.
Is he plays instruments. His music is like music. It's metal, if anything.
I really respect that too.
Yeah, he's a talented musician, and you don't see a lot of rappers that are that. But when I say that, I mean he can play multiple instruments.
I mean,
that's awesome.
I mean, like, granted, I respect anyone who can do hip hop and like can actually rhyme. But there is something to be said for like playing your own instruments as opposed to just like opening Pro Tools and laying down like a beat track. And
well, I'd say he's primarily, like, now in the hip hop community, he's more known as a producer.
Well,
and it's because, look, I ain't gonna lie to the audience. Some of y'all are not gonna like his music, okay? But hear us out. Hear about the man. Hear about his story, because it is very dark and edgy music. Yes, it is. It is like openly satanic. Not even gonna, like, but I'll tell you what, it captures a certain sense of pain and anger at society that a lot of people like myself felt. I'm partially here today because his music helped me get through some rough times. You know what I mean?
Is he satanic? Is he a Satanist?
You can ask him.
I will.
Wouldn't that be the best? I don't want to speak for him, but his music is openly satanic. His name is Dick-tanic. Yeah, there's a definite like level that some of you might feel about it where it's like very 90s 2000s edgy that maybe seems cringe today. I can understand that to some people's taste. But if you're from a certain age and a certain kind of life, he was a superstar among that community. He captured a feeling of alienation that very few artists of our generation did for us,
Listen, I know this conversation is going to go down somewhat. Well, I don't know like the particulars, but I can guarantee you we're going to have like a really polite conversation in an in-depth interview. It may get a little edgy. All of the
Hey, I told him, hey, we don't censor
all
people. You will, you'll be
yeah,
able to
no.
speak your piece.
Well, all of the people who accuse me of being edgy are going to be edgy, are going to be like, oh my god, that was edgy. Meanwhile, we're gonna have like, internet locales postings.
I mean,
See
maybe
the
he
thing,
is. Maybe he is edgy too. This is what I want to point out.
yeah,
But he's also a well-respected independent musician,
yeah,
right? And he's also the son of a victim, a murder
yeah,
victim. You know what he also is? He's also a 2-time cancer survivor. So I don't know if you're if you're the type of person that would judge without hearing him out, then maybe I hate to even say something like this, Sam, but like maybe the Whitfield Report isn't the place for you, right? Just hear him out, and then
right.
maybe you won't like him. That's fine, but I would suggest to hear the man out because I think you might be surprised at what we find.
I think also I think that having conversations like this are like way more riveting than whatever is going on in politics land
Yeah.
because as I mean as you guys heard at the beginning of the show, like we were struggling to even like figure out what's going on in politics because it's this I'm curious about because it's like a real life story that actually matters,
Well, and there is politics, but I think it's exactly
There
the
is.
kind of politics only someone like us can cover. Just flat
Yeah.
out the worst kind of police corruption and the government looking at people like trash, essentially. Yeah, that's the kind of politics that I think we would like to take a look at.
Absolutely.
Well, and I'm going to be absolutely
There's
honest.
no Democrat or Republican, I think, in any of that either. I don't think it's relevant. Although, sure, certain like Sheriff so and so might be a Democrat or Sheriff so and so, might
Well,
be. But that's not relevant to the actual story. The actual story is about human beings and the decisions that they made along the way through the investigation.
I am going to be honest here, though, too, Max, and say that, like, one of my motives for doing this too is like I know people who, in the thriller community, write novels that deal with law enforcement. So
Yeah.
one of my goals, and I haven't told them this, but like one of my things is, well, if I can get some of my author friends, to listen to the podcast, and we do have a few of them, and maybe they know someone, in the publishing world who can
Well,
spread.
if people have bigger reach than us, just to get them to hear it might help out.
Yeah,
And that's all he's been asking of anybody is to just give it a listen because it's his mom's story and nobody's ever told it before.
Yeah. Speaking of people with big reaches, though, I don't know if you saw this, Max, but yesterday I unboxed Terrence McCauley's
Nice.
hardcover edition of Chicago 63. He even autographed it for me, which I showed, and was very. And he's one that I will send the satanic interview to because I think it's he's a person like.
If you write thrillers, you're essentially writing like people drama stories, right?
Right.
And nothing. I've not come across few people drama stories that have hit me quite in the gut like this. Like, I know a lot of people watch true crime because they get some kind of like jolly off of like imagining the situation. I have a problem where I'm always so angry because I can't help but empathize with the victim like immediately. Like, oh my God, that would be so fuck this piece of shit. That's my response to true crime is like
yeah,
just absolute horror at the things that are done. And this is one of those cases because I mean, her humanity was completely taken from her. And then the police did it again, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'll let him speak to his feelings on the police, but I think that they'll just be like worse than what I say.
Well, also though,
we're not about to stop him from saying it. Like, this is 40 years of a man's frustration that he just wants to know what happened to his mom.
This is what I will say though too is and
then to define the answer, I think I can give this spoiler because it's from the beginning of the very first episode of the case, but it really sets the stage for it long before the murder and why her murder now stands out amongst the others that were similar at the time frame. Okay. She was abused by a guy that was at least running. I'm not sure if he was sheriff or he was running for sheriff, sexually abused her and then blackmailed her.
Yeah.
Right? That's how it starts. She was, I believe, 15 years old. So the police corruption in the story starts long before the murder.
Yeah.
And has very little to do with it, actually. Except that it seems to me like this is my takeaway. Some people kept very, very good records of her case. And that to me seems like there were the people that were looking out for their brothers in blue. And then there were the people like that guy is a pedo and I'm going to keep track of everything I can because I think he had something to do with this.
Yeah. Well, and look,
and thank God for it, Sam, because when this isn't a spoiler either. This man had no idea about anything that happened to his mother, except they told him when he was a kid that she was gone. And when he got a little older, that she was taken by a bad man. And he had a picture of a bad man that's burned in his brain, who he called the boogeyman, because he just knew when he saw that picture, it was like looking at the devil, right? But other than that, that's all this man ever knew about his mother. Can you imagine that?
That would be
rough,
traumatizing. Well, and what
but then they put in the FOIA request. Most cases like this, Sam, you have to understand, where it's a prostitute that's killed, they get one-page reports. One-page reports, barely any information, no evidence picked up. Oh, just another dead hooker. Oh, I don't want to have to fill out the paperwork tonight. God, I just want to get home. But they're human beings. They have families, right? And so in this case, just by whatever, divinity or coincidence or supreme justice, they send in the FOIA request from the podcast people, right? And there's well over 100 pages worth of well-kept documents that never got used for anything, right? Because you can't take down the corrupt cop, but somebody kept notes on the fucking corrupt cop. And those files got opened and gone through, and witnesses were talked to, and private investigators were hired, and what they uncovered is a twisted web. And that is why my friend is so frustrated that nobody's hearing out his story or what he has to say about the police. And he's not like doing the all cops are bastards thing either. He's just literally saying, like, Why are people overlooking corruption?
No.
Why him? Why his mom? Why did they get the shaft? And that's a question I have too. Why?
And in fact, what I was going to say, Max, is like I have friends who are in law. Well, I shouldn't say I have friends. I have friends of the show who are in law enforcement, and I would invite them to particularly listen to this because.
And I like that this case kind of proves that point that there are good people in law enforcement. Why else did this guy keep 100 pages of notes on a murder he knew they weren't even going to look into? Because he was a good cop, right. But what can you do?
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. I want the listeners of the show who are in law enforcement, who want to reform the way policing works. They're the ones who need to listen to this, podcast.
And I think society at large, a good thing. I think the podcast does a really good job of humanizing that. Yes, she was a fucking prostitute, sex worker, however you want to term it, right? But she was a mother. She was a young woman. She was a victim of the system. She had interests. You know what I mean? And he didn't get to know any of that about his own mom because somebody took her away and threw her on the side of the road as if she didn't matter. And then the cops treated it as if that was correct, that she didn't matter. But she did matter to him, to his family, to anyone who knew her. And we often kind of gloss over that shit. I'm not full of jokes tonight, but I do feel strongly about it.
No, I mean, I do too. I mean, the reason why I am interested in it is because, he's just a human being who lost his mom, and that's
he makes really dark music. Gee, I wonder why.
But like, even if he was just like an average guy who worked in like a, somewhere as like a manager or, and wasn't famous and didn't have any let's just say he was a friend of yours and, you just knew him and.
Yeah, if he wasn't a satanic hardcore rapper or whatever you want to kind of label him as, if he was Andy down at the factory you work at, your heart would bleed for the man, two-time cancer survivor on top of all the stuff with his mom. Also, another thing like we can talk to him about and how that he got to talking to the True Crime Podcast to begin with is the Farmville murders, which I'm sure he's kind of sick of talking about. But he'll probably talk about it with me just fine because I also knew Sam McCroskey, right?
Wait, Farmville as in the stupid Facebook game, Farmville?
No, Farmville, West Virginia, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit off tonight.
No, it's fine. It's kind of a niche case in its own right. It's another true crime story, so to speak. And this one is about essentially, I don't even want to say a fan of his, but like an associate in that scene. He was a up and coming horrorcore rapper, Psycho Sam. And he went to, actually, I believe it was Sixth show, like a big festival, and met up with his online girlfriend. And for whatever reason, he killed her best friend, and their mother, and then their father with an axe. And then basically went to the airport, and then the cops picked him up. He's got like life in jail now. But yeah, I used to know him in that when I did internet radio, he was one of the people that would send their songs in to try to get me to play it, right? And his were all really, really not well liked by our community, and neither was I. Neither was he. He was a weirdo. And that was that. That's all I really heard about him, right? It's like this guy that you'd heard of, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
You remember him because his music was bad, right? Like really bad. And then a few years later, I wasn't even doing the radio stuff anymore. I just hear that he had murdered those people.
Well,
it's her. I mean, that tore that community apart. You know what I mean?
I mean, Hitler was supposedly everyone forgets, but Hitler was supposedly a shitty art student. So,
Well, no, it is a genre of music that by nature and definition invites people who are fucked up. And unfortunately, some of them are more fucked up than others. And there was a case of one. I could sit here and explain the details, but he murdered 4 people because he was a loser, essentially.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Hitler was also a loser who,
I
got
hate giving
power.
these people like big ups, like making them seem scary or dangerous. I like to much prefer to mock them and treat them like the losers. Like if you're a guy that's gonna go off and kill some girl because she rejected you and her best friend and all that, like with an axe,
you're a loser.
You're a loser. You don't deserve the cool nickname. You know what I mean? You don't deserve the spooky music on Untold Mysteries with the guy going, and then he took her in the ass. No, you're a fucking loser. You're a loser, and that's how people should look at it. You're a piece of shit, garbage, beneath contempt.
Yeah, no. I mean,
this dude did it because he's basically an incel. Fuck him, And
that seems to be a common trend. I recently watched like an old medical video on like this Danny Phantom guy who was like
Randy Stair, right?
Yeah, Randy Stair.
Yeah, fuck that
and
loser. Exactly what I mean. Fucking these guys are just complete losers that want to be seen as cool and scary. Don't let them. Take it away.
Yeah, and Medicare said he's not scary. He's a fucking asshole loser, and
he's an autistic LARPer who thinks he's gonna get a ghost girlfriend for murdering people because he watched a Nickelodeon show. Yeah, that's a loser. That's a loser.
That's a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
But anyway, and Psycho Sam, he was a loser. That's how I say it. He still is, as far as I'm concerned. I hear that he's repentant in prison. Whatever. He chopped up those young girls with an axe for no reason, really, other than he had an online girlfriend and he showed up in real life stinky and awkward and weird, and so she didn't really want any part of him. That's basically, as far as I understand it, the motive.
Oh, lovely.
If it's the murders that I think, Max, I agree.
And because he's a fucking edgelord. Like, that's the real... And hey, I'm telling you, my buddy's music, me listening to it, we all are kind of a little edgelord in that regard. But, like, we understand the difference between, like, it's like a horror movie. That's why horrorcore is the most commonly used word for the genre. He terms himself occult rap, by the way.
Well,
not horrorcore.
Satanic seemed very polite, like just in the Twitter exchange. He wasn't trying to do like the whole mystical, like dark, edgy poetry on.
He's not that guy.
No, I'm just saying.
I mean, he is in his music, right? But it's like it has its place. Like, he's a normal guy.
That's just like,
I'll tell you what you might want to talk to him about is he is neck deep in the UFO disclosure community.
Well,
way more like we never touch on that shit here, but like he is a guy that knows a lot about the issue. And I mean, literally, like when I mean is he follows like the Senate stuff regarding disclosure, and like he knows his shit. And I like that he seems to be more skeptical than a lot of them. Like if they put out a claim, he's not like, oh my God, that is so real. He's like, especially if it's not real, he rips people apart. Because if you're putting out fraud, you're making their whole thing look stupid, you know?
Well, it's funny bringing that up, Max, because guess what? Just dropped on Rumble this week. They released a new category or a new podcast subcategory for UFOs. So
Well, there you go.
That's hilarious.
Well, I just from following on Twitter for so long, I've noticed that he is like in with all of those people, and there's so many things to but it's passionate to him, it seems, and I think it'd be an interesting conversation, not about any of that other shit.
Look,
because he's also like, yeah, he's had all this heavy shit happen, but I mean, on a day-to-day level, you live life, right? He's not like a depressing person.
Yeah, see the hard question is he funny? Okay.
He's funny.
Because we've talked about this before, but people are like, "Oh my god, Sam, how can you make such dark jokes about cerebral palsy?" And it's like, because what else am I gonna do?
Because it's fucking funny.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you actually listen to his music, most of it is fucking comedy. It's just dark comedy. And I would say like what makes it different is like somebody like more well known, I guess, to people would be like the Insane Clown Posse. Their stuff is dark and funny and violent, but it like screams that it's supposed to be funny because they're clowns and their beats are kind of clownish. He's doing the same thing, but instead it's like metal.
Yeah.
And it's not as like, haha, I'm a clown, but it's still funny. Yeah, he has. If you listen to his lyrics, there's a lot of like double entendre and stuff. Yes, he's a funny guy, of course.
Yeah.
I don't want people to think he's like this dark, brooding guy that's like upset about like you gotta realize, like, for the most part, he kind of just has to not think about his mom's case until now. Because he didn't really know anything. He just had to live his life, although he did get bullied for not having parents, which is fucked up, but
yeah. Well, also like surviving cancer twice in and of itself, like
yeah, just over the past few years.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm glad he's here.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, my mom survived cancer still, but
Baller. That's like true Iron Man shit right there to me.
Yeah. Well, thank God they caught it stage 1. But hey, stage 1 is still cancer. So
I don't know about his specifics, but I know that it happened pretty fast as far as I can recall. Just watching what he was saying on Twitter at the time, Always try and give him positive, always every now and again. It's like, keep your head up, but that sucks. That's what the way I describe him is he's been somebody that's been dealt a bunch of tough hands and he's always made them into winners.
Well, I like him. I mean that
takes guts.
Well, that's pretty much what Mort and I have done for our entire lives.
Yeah. Well, and I hope you know how much it means to him that you're gonna, help tell his mom's story at all. Like it's frustrating, I imagine, to scream into the fucking void and have shoulder shrugs in response.
I mean, look, I kind of consider myself a storyteller, or us to be storytellers. So tell us, isn't that what journalism is supposed to be too, rather than just like screaming for
ignore the journalist from like the politics and news side though. Like, isn't
right?
Like, why have not just the true crime podcast? That's the new phenomenon. Where was CSI, Forensic Files, all the crazes?
Right.
This is a case nobody even bothered to crack open.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That hurts to even hear. That was his mother. Her name was Jennifer Sherm. She was a human being, and nobody even bothered to look into her fucking file.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't want to. I'm not saying this to like diss myself or diss us, but like, we're a couple guys just sit around on computers with like average setups. We
Yeah.
don't really have we don't really have a budget to do like high-end podcasts, right? And yet all the high-end podcasters that can afford to send like, journalists to like stay in hotels.
If
And
I had
whatnot.
my way, he'd be on like Joe Rogan, dude.
Yeah.
That's why it's crazy to me that he's a guest on our show, because he's somebody that would be fascinating on a big platform where you ask him some interesting questions, right? I'm trying to set the groundwork just so because I know there's gonna be that one guy that with satanic music, he's gonna lose his fucking mind. That one guy,
Yeah.
he's gonna be like, "You guys are evil for having this. Like, how dare you?" Well, guy, you've been more. Maybe you should skip that show if it really bothers you. But I assure you that this gentleman is a talented artist. So what is he excluded? And it's funny because those same people will be like, but the satanic globalist pedophiles run the world. And I'm like, this guy can't even get them to tell his mom's story. So I don't think he's in on whatever you're talking about, brother.
Well, listen. To be fair, we offended stoners like
true
back in January for having Steve Stratton on. Even though like he said nothing against weed culture or whatever. See, this is the funny thing. Like the people who hate us or who hate me, like hate me for the wrong things. Like Mersh went after me because I had not because of anything I said. He hates me because I had a guy on my show who laughed at him and who made me laugh.
Be fair. He also thought you were an easy target.
Yeah.
Honestly, Sam, I'm surprised we haven't pissed off the lefty cripples.
See, they don't want to. They don't like to interact with me because you and I, Mort, shouldn't exist.
Oh, I know their attitude.
Yeah, they're afraid of us because conservative cripples can't. I know more. You said you're an independent.
I'm trying to figure out what the connection there was. Like, witty, intelligent guys shouldn't exist. I couldn't really. Conservative cripple. Got it. Okay, why shouldn't you exist?
Because the lefty cripple view is we should always be moody and brooding and woe is me, fuck my life, fuck the world. Why did I get dealt this bullshit fucking hand attitude?
Yeah, pretty much what
more. Crybaby. And yes. Because you're not, you shouldn't exist.
And also we should all be perpetual victims, and Trump is a meanie because he made fun of someone with cerebral palsy, even though he didn't specifically make fun of a guy with cerebral palsy. He was making fun of Ted Cruz with that same
True. Look,
I would rather have you make fun of me.
I think if we're going to be honest here, we can admit that Ted Cruz is kind of retarded.
Yes. and me personally, I would rather you make fun of me to my face than behind my back.
I like him on certain issues. He's great on the First Amendment. He was anti-mandating vaxes. That's good. He does have a punchable face, though.
He's also kind of like he's also one of these Republicans that is kind of like on an autistic nerd too. Like
Yeah, but I also think that he could be led to, because you notice he was the anti-Trump guy. He was the last ditch in 2016 for them, right? And then all of a sudden he was the Trump guy. I remember stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, well,
But I'll give him his credit. He's been good on First Amendment. He's been good on Second Amendment for the most part. He's been good on some stuff. I am just saying that when you look at Ted Cruz, like, he's got a slappable face. He's somebody. I think DeSantis has this too, where he's just somebody you just like, just shut the fuck up.
Well,
No, please just shut the fuck up. Like, I get that you want to keep talking because you think you're got shit and the corporates told you exactly what to say, and so you got to get through your speech. But no, please just shut the fuck up because you're full of shit. I get that with Ted Cruz. I get that with DeSantis. I get that with Nikki Haley to like the millionth degree, right? Just shut the fuck up. Nobody actually believes you. I don't know why everybody goes along with the delusion that you're important. Just shut the fuck up. Sorry, Sam. I didn't mean you to shut the fuck up. Please continue.
No.
Just Nikki Haley, you know?
No, I do. Well, also, like...
Nikki Haley, shut the fuck up. You can quote me on that.
Well, oh, yeah. Well, I think Max speaks for all of us with that. Also, I love how, speaking of Nikki Haley, this is I guess this is like the one newsworthy thing I saw this week. Nikki Haley, she was doing a speech and she
actually bothered to answer the stupidest question that she ever could have answered, right? Which is, would you stay in if you lost South Carolina? The answer is, I'm going to win South Carolina, stupid. Otherwise, you're not running for president.
That's hilarious. I missed
that. How is your... Well, the confidence is through the roof at the Nikki Haley campaign. Yeah, after we lose my home state, I'm going to stay in anyway. That's a fuck. Oh, yeah.
Well, also, the fact that
stock is going up, baby. Nikki Haley bucks to the moon. Come on.
The fact that she was
so fucking cringe to have answered that question at all.
Not just that, Max, but did you see the part where she was like crying about children on the border, except she wasn't like, she was doing everything but like actually, I don't know, crying. There were no tears coming out. Like,
look, you can only act so far. Lizard people cannot excrete tears. You got to give her credit.
I know, but like,
just got to casually slip that part in, right? Yeah, lizard people don't cry. So she's working with what she's got. It's tough coming through those dimensional tears, Sam.
Listen, just do something else other than cry. Give like an impassioned speech or something.
Well, they can cry, but only after they've feasted on the souls of the innocent unborn. Right? And so it's a real bad look to take like a basket of fetuses out to Nikki Haley so she can feast upon them like the beast that she is. So if you did that, then she could muster the energy to form tears out of the baby's blood.
But no, we don't, I guess they didn't have any babies flying around then.
True story.
Yeah. Oh, allegedly. So also, Max, I was
I heard it somewhere,
kind of switching the stories. I don't know you, but before you came on, Morpheus and I were talking how we were both deeply moved that your boy Johnny Fox has finally graduated from the Cringe Coffee House School of Localling and is now attending Kiwi Farms University.
Yeah, I got a Kiwi Farms thread. he's gonna really miss those days because I've already they've already pointed out that they think I'm too nice, and they think that my methods of withholding, if people don't want me to release certain things, they would prefer I didn't do that. And good luck, Johnny. I did a whole stream. We read through the thread. It was great. At the end of it, there's this sex tape, and now it's publicly available, and it's I would say it's only 2 minutes long, and I would say it might be the cringiest 2 minutes of audio I've ever heard.
What Morpheus doesn't know, you know this, Max, but what Morpheus doesn't know is I've talked to the young lady that he sent those to.
Oh God.
And she made me listen. She made me listen to them.
Yeah.
And
so you listened and laughed with her about them.
Yeah, well, it more like I listened and she laughed at me, cringing over how bad they were.
Also acceptable.
A dramatic reenactment, if you will. Fuck me, Kimmy. Fuck me. Oh, fuck me, Kimmy. Oh, you're the most beautiful girl in the Discord. Dean, go listen for yourself. It's great.
What a fucking virgin.
The most beautiful girl in the Discord line will cause terminal vaginal dryness to become a contagious disease all throughout the country. Women are just going to shrivel up. They're not going to ever want sex again because they heard Johnny Fox say that.
The one thing that I don't get is how
it just dries up and blows away in the wind.
Well, he's no longer writing books, so we can't write a book about her.
But he said that in the thing, though. You gotta bring that up. He said, I don't want to write you an erotica or nothing, but fuck me, Kimmy, fuck me. Fucking dead, dude. Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh God. They're I don't know. They're all hype. They're gonna try and get fucking Josh from Kiwi Farms to play it on his stream. They have fun. Oh, we have fun. Good old Johnny Fox. Maybe he should go back to writing. We'll have to do some review. That'll be a fun thing, since it's the Kiwi Farms people are just gonna make fun of his stupid stuff from now on. But the authors that have found him interesting just because of the shit from our show would probably find it interesting to do book review. We should do a full-on book club style. We all read one Johnny Fox book and then have a half-hour discussion about it like it's a serious piece of literature.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I feel like
I'm an asshole, but just in a different way than Kiwi Farms,
Well, I feel like if we do that though, we actually should review an actual friend of the show's book and do a book club thing for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would only ever subject us to one Johnny Fox. Yes, we could do. I mean, that's the thing is, since you've started having all these people on the show, my reading list is backlogged worse than my fucking Steam list.
So, well, I mean,
I want to read all these books, but I'm man, they're getting thrown at me, huh? Let's go. Well, I like that. That's a good problem to have if you're a reader, I guess.
Yeah, they're getting thrown at me. All these people are talking how, oh, there are no good movies coming out this year, and I'm I don't really okay, that's
movies, read a book.
Yeah, read a fucking book.
What Morpheus just said. Also, this idea that fiction rots your brain is stupid.
No. Discord rots your brain. I think we've established that in the last segment.
Well, Discord gives you brain cancer.
I guess what I mean is the same people bitching about fiction rotting your brain are posting on social media. I've literally done a video with entire actual studies proving that this shit actually rots your brain.
Yeah.
But no, don't go read a book. That sounds like some gaslighting shit. Yeah, don't read books. No, don't read books. You got to be online.
No. To be fair, this tweet I saw was saying, don't read fiction books because they'll rot your brain. Read non-fiction books only. So
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Does Twitter not rot? I just said, scientifically backed. I feel confident, even as a layman. Hey, I have no degrees, but I went through I think it was 6 different studies that, when all combined, you can come to no other conclusion than social media literally reduces your memory, attention span, potentially causes depression, even just by itself, and can be 100% addictive with the production of dopamine. So if you want to get on social media and tell people that they shouldn't read fiction or anything, you're on fucking social media, dog. That's the worst one.
Yep.
Yeah.
One. My God, reading. You could read Huckleberry Finn, or you could be on Twitter. Which one's more educational, Sam?
Huck Finn for sure.
Oh, but you can't have Huck Finn because of N-word Jim, right? It's his name. We can't have. Yeah. No. Just read Twitter. That'll be better for you. Fuck that. I saw one of those guys. I like to Save Our Sons podcast. It's like their dads. They do a pretty good job. I actually talked to one about weight loss stuff the other week. Great guys, but one of them happened to make the comment that it's time to give up all the video games and do real shit. Bro, do you not understand that a hobby is what you do when you're bored at the end of the day after you've done real shit? I love how people discount video games as if that's not my version of going and drinking a beer and playing watching the football game or whatever.
My favorite is
it's a cheap hobby relative to other things. And I know gamers don't think that. This is why I'm hard on gamers, because they're like, oh my God, everything's so expensive. Try being a model painter. How about being a musician? Do you know how much instruments cost?
I have 3 guitars just to the right of me, and holy fuck.
Yeah. What Morpheus, which is a hobby that's more affordable for you? Keeping up with your guitar or video games?
Video games are less expensive.
Yeah, and so you buy them probably more frequently, I would imagine.
I do, but still not as frequently as some, but more frequently than guitars.
Yeah, and even if you're a professional musician, in a lot of cases, something like that's often true, because they're just they're an affordable hobby for most middle and working class guys that you can blow a couple hours at the end of a day on, right? Even guitar, there's more work involved. You can kind of just veg out with a video game.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
That doesn't mean you're not doing real things. That doesn't mean you don't have a job. In fact, the average gamer is a dad with a job and kids.
Well, that's my
a 35-year-old male with kids and a job is the average video gamer.
And don't get me wrong, my guitars aren't the most expensive, but if I had to add up what I've spent, probably close to $5,000.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I mean about instruments, is even if you try and be on the low or even mid end, and you don't have to, you don't have to buy a new guitar nearly as much as a new console necessarily.
Agreed.
But it is an investment, because there's a lot going on when you take up an instrument. Another one, model building, right? Model building ain't fucking cheap. Compare that to video games. Fucking
One of my guitars has been with me through college, and it's been 14 years.
right.
Yeah, I mean, when I add up the total cost of like all the podcasting I've done, it's probably like somewhere around like $5,000 or $6,000 total.
I mean,
Over-
my wife's acoustic, I think we've had for like the whole time we've been together, like 18 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, podcasting too. Me, I actually haven't thrown that much money into it. $5 flag. Hey, Sticks. Hey, there's some news for you, Sam. Sticks Hexenhammer stole my flag.
Oh, what? Tell me more. This is news.
Yeah. Now behind Sticks Hexenhammer is a Trump 2024 Take America Back flag. And he was like bragging on it because somebody sent it to him. Sticks, it cost me $5 on Amazon. It's not that big a deal. And I've had it for what? 2+ years now?
Yeah, you've had it since before I met you, easily.
Yeah, watch any Sticks video. He has my flag behind him now.
Yeah.
Which like on the one hand is like based, right? And on the other hand is like you're stealing my bit. Even though I'm a nobody, it doesn't matter.
And we did it first, so
that's right. But I'll forgive him.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Plagiarist because he stole my flag. No. Johnny Fox is the plagiarist.
Well,
Sticks is just I just like that he was like giddy about it, like it was this really big deal because he likes the flag. Me too. I like it. That's why I put a Take America Back, right? It's got that kind of aggressive vibe to it that I kind of was feeling after the last election. So I get it why he likes it. All I was like is like he acted like it's this big deal. Like all these flags were like less than $5 on Amazon. There's a hobby for you.
I don't get why like I honestly don't get why people hate on Sticks so much. It's a bit weird.
Oh, I don't know. He gives a lot, like his takes are kind of boring to me sometimes.
There are people who shit on Sticks, and I've never been able to, like, I'm not a major fan. I'm not like a fanboy of the guy, but like
Sticks.
But it's well, obviously I know why Mersh, craps on him, because Mersh wishes he were as popular as Sticks.
Because Mersh snuffs cat ass.
Mersh is to cope and seethe. That's why Mersh is mad.
Well, Mersh is also getting into he thinks his latest thing is that he can beef with Dom Lucre and win. And like, I don't know much about Dom Lucre other than what I've seen on Twitter, but like, that's a stupid idea. So, and Dom is like, who are you? Why are you beefing with me? So,
yeah, I haven't been following Mersh. Although I did watch some video where he like, and in the middle of it, he did the wonky eye bit where he pointed at his eye, and it freaked my wife out. She's like, "You're still looking at me."
That's how Alan feels too.
Oh yeah, well, Alan should. Mersh's wonky eyes always watching him.
So
doesn't matter where you go, that thing's like.
Knowing Alan, he's actually probably watching this like later on Spotify as he's walking a dog.
Yeah, well, Mersh is never gonna forget you on account of his wonky eye.
Well, he's never gonna forget the fact that I called him he tried to call me retarded, and then I took the long about way of saying no you.
It's true.
That's awesome.
It's funny because it was like what 2 weeks ago. Fucking Johnny Fox is calling you retarded too. It's like what do you guys like? Not realize that that's the dumbest joke you could make because you just. It's funny because they set themselves up to now just be the villain. Okay, what now? Brilliant strategy. Brilliant strategy, guy. You run to like the fucking the dumbest possible thing you could say. And if it happens, I don't know, Sam's like smart or witty or nice, you instantly look like the biggest asshole in the room for the rest of your life. Good job, Johnny. Good job, Mersh.
Yeah.
If you call Sam or I retarded, number one, we're probably going to smoke you verbally, even with our stutters. And like Max just said, you are eternally the bad guy. And it's one of the lowest.
They don't have to do anything.
Ever.
That's the beauty. You guys don't even have to do anything at that point, right? You just have to stand there and just kind of look at them, and everybody's gonna be like,
sit here.
Oh.
Sit here.
You get a lot of those, like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe he. Oh, you know, you don't have to. You literally don't have to do anything at that point. The crowd's already like awing.
Yeah,
because everybody. Well, that's the beauty part is that everybody else who's like normally socially adjusted understands why, except for guys like Mersh or Johnny Fox who would actually do that, right? So because they are actually retarded.
Correct. Yeah. That's the thing is like Mersh was pitching last week about like, oh, and Pod Off, like all his fans are chronically online, and it's like, well, no, I mean, I'm maybe
not
some
like
of them
Nightwave fans,
but
Nightwave fans, they never touch their computer.
No, I mean like
you can tell
like
because they respect you know, the most generic vaporwave aesthetic I've ever seen.
Which as a fan of 1980s culture, it does sound to me that like vaporwave is now like a cringe thing. That, like,
yeah, the moment it became a Mersh thing, it became cringe. Yeah. I'm sorry, you know, 80s people, you had a good run. Now your shit is a Mersh thing.
Thanks,
maybe
Mersh,
time to move on. Maybe be a 90s person, right?
Yeah, so maybe I had to set my Shadows of Deception prequel in the early 90s. So
and all the CIA agents will wear hammer pants.
Oh, well, I mean, the drug war was happening in the 90s too, so it's not like the Soviet Union was like just
one of the clues has to be written on like a bootlegged Bart Simpson t-shirt. Just get as 90s as possible, you know.
Yeah,
a bootleg, maybe mildly inappropriate Bart Simpson t-shirt. That's like peak 90s.
Yeah. Maybe someone can be listening to Howard Stern or something.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like, holy
drinking a Surge soda.
So, Max, like, I have to ask you, since you're an old time radio guy, like, I was trying to watch.
You started with him old. Let's see where he goes from here, chat.
I was trying to watch an old Howard Stern interview, and like supposedly when he was at his peak, and he was how can you interview someone if you're interrupting them every 5 seconds because you love to hear your
It's
own
the
voice?
same appeal that those internet blood sports guys have. There is an appeal for people just screaming at each other, but you're right. Like, in terms of an interviewer, it's trash most of the time.
I'm not even talking about screaming at each other. That would at least be
No, he
entertaining.
interjects. He interjects directly over them and changes the. I know exactly what you mean. He is not a good interviewer, but he is good at getting viral moments out of people, and that's what it really is that he's like. If you're going to give him his props, that's what it is. Also, that he's able to get such famous people comfortable enough to say some weird shit around him. That's why he's known for it. But you're right that they're objectively bad as interviews.
Yeah, it's like I was trying to like I found an old interview with I think Robert.
Oh yeah, and speaking of 90s throwback stuff, they got to be smoking a blunt.
Oh yeah, that is true. So
you got Ryder smoking a blunt. He's got the name. He's Ryder, you know.
Yeah.
You can be like ride or die, but
yeah. Yeah, we can get Ryder's dad smoking a blunt and
No, he has to infiltrate like a street gang. He comes. I'm now turning your shit into comedy where he's like, yo.
No, but we could do it. We could do like a comedy variety just for fun too.
That's what it is. You know what you need? You need like the Get Smart version of it, right?
Yeah.
You should have another character who's the comedy spy, because I think you could probably work with that.
I did actually write like a screenplay about a podcaster, but it's a satire.
Oh my god. I see Sam as the star of an action movie where he's a podcaster who's also secretly a spy and he's crippled.
Yeah,
but his wheelchair has all kinds of gadgets and shit. I would watch that movie. But it has to star actually Sam.
That was the premise of the screenplay, and it was a horrible screenplay that I wrote, but I wrote it for a college course where we were using screenwriting software.
And
so the point
would be like your wheelchair cue.
Yeah. Well, no.
This would be great.
Well, no, the Q would have to be able-bodied, so I was gonna like cast Craig to be.
Oh, there you go.
So it would only make sense.
Jew. He would like that. I think he would like Dr. Jew.
Yeah, Craig. Yeah, Craig.
Dr. Jew though. It's Dr. Jew.
Yeah.
And never address it, right? That's just his name. He's Dr. Jew.
That's hilarious.
Also, shout out to the Fake Untitled podcast.
And actually, Sam, if you think about this for a second, right? You as the main character of the comedic spy thing makes my scenario of you infiltrating a gang pretending to be one of them way funnier.
Wait. I've got it too. What if I infiltrate, wait for it, the Crips?
I mean, it would have to be, right? But South Park did that, but you know what? They weren't infiltrating. Jimmy was just Crip, bro.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Jimmy? Is Jimmy not the best crippled character ever?
Jimmy's fucking great.
Yeah.
I do, but like, you know, Jimmy, he deserves his due because he's the crippled comedian character. And that's like the cripple guy.
Well, and like the thing with this too is like Jimmy is actually written somewhat realistically too. Like it is satire, right? But it's like it's not like overblown. Like
he's written like a kid. rather than just like he's not a one-note joke, even though sometimes, my God, the funniest part is when you fight him in the video game and he's the bard. So he has to sing out the song about the game and he gets stuck and you're just waiting for the next turn in the battle and you think the game's like busted or something. And then he just finishes the song. And I'm like, that's way funnier than it ever should have been. And all it did was waste 30 seconds of my time waiting for Jimmy to finish stuttering. Is not the last laugh on everybody else but the cripples at that point? I think it is.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's
Stoneberry Hollow. She couldn't say what more could she. And you're just like, swallow, Jimmy. Just say swallow.
Listen, if I wanted to be a real asshole, I could stutter a lot more.
Well, that's what makes it funny to me, is because he's doing just that. Like, oh, you think my stutter's funny, huh? Wait for it then, bitch. Or if you interrupt him, you're the dickhead. That's the joke. You just have to wait for his fucking stutter and waste your fucking time. And I was like, that's a good cripple joke.
Yeah.
Because the joke's on you, not the cripple.
No,
do you guys sometimes stutter longer on purpose just to fuck with people?
I definitely do.
Yeah. I know you do it to stall for time on the show.
Or what I'll do, Max, I do this more often than not. I get people who will, like, in the street, they'll see I'm in a wheelchair, and for whatever reason, they'll speak to me like I'm like retarded. They'll be like
the universal language of I don't think that you're smart enough to understand me, which is to speak loudly and slowly, right?
Yeah. So I had
you also do that if people don't speak your language, right? So you just speak English louder and slower. It's the universal sign of I'm actually an idiot, but I think you're an idiot.
I had a lady come up to me and be like, "Hi, how are you today? Can you give me?" And eventually I was like checking my watch like this, and I was like,
"Do you know where the gas station is?" And you're just like, "Yeah, it's like right over there."
No. Actually, what I said to her is, "Lady, are you gonna finish your sentence, or are you?" Well, I'm like, "Finish your sentence. I've got shit to do. I can't be here all day."
And the fact I said, "I'm so sorry. Do you have neurological disabilities?"
No, I actually asked one time someone did that to me, and I asked, "Oh my God, are you having a stroke? Do you need to call someone?"
It would just be funny for you to ask them when they do that to you, right? Because they're basically simulating having mental disabilities. So you should just be like, "Oh my God, I hate to bring it up, but I just want to be. Do you have like neurological problems or something?" Imagine if you did that to somebody, what they would do, because that's exactly how they just treated you.
I'm going to use that now.
I would have fun. I would have fun if I was you guys. You got to make fun of it, right?
Oh yeah. Well,
you guys get up to mischief anyway.
Usually, what I do when somebody tries to speak over me in intellect, I talk above them intentionally, just to be an absolute dick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I do the same thing. So.
Just the trolling of being a cripple, huh?
So.
I can't complain. Because like I've said it openly before. Like, this is the best troll shield you could ever have. It's like, yeah, I co-host a show with 2 disabled gentlemen. Yeah, no biggie. Like, that makes me such a fucking baby face by default.
Yeah.
It's so good. I could just be an asshole. Like, even in the Johnny Fox thing, he doesn't get that, right? Oh, you go after the guy who's like co-host with the cerebral palsy author. Yeah. Oh, and you called him a retard. Wow. You're really winning.
I'm more offended, and I'm sure it's the same way with Sam. I'm more offended when you treat me with kid gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and what's really funny to me about the Johnny Fox thing is all of the one who he was trying to like woo like me way more. So
That's amazing.
And the professional, authors that he wishes that he could have podcasts with, literally. That's why he was begging people like you to have him on to promote his book so he could get into that scene. And you know what, Johnny? You knew you could have had that if you were nice to Sam.
Well, not only that, he could have had that if he answered my simple question of, so Johnny, what is your writing process?
Yeah. You asked him the age-old question of what is your muse, and his answer was Max Sand.
That's amazing.
There you go. Thanks. I've been thinking about it, and I kind of feel like that's true of Dave. Like, who else but me could Dave be making these videos for? Nobody has come up with a sufficient answer for that. But Johnny Fox, yeah, I mean, you asked him, like, what inspires you creatively? And then he ranted about Max Sand for 10 minutes. So clearly, I creatively inspire him, and that's touching, I'm glad I've had such an impact on the man. I wish he would get his act together, though, and stop telling girls to fuck him on Discord. Maybe get out in real life and see. Maybe that's why he likes those kind of Discord relationships. It's because if you went out to a bar and your pickup line was "fuck me, Kimmy, fuck me," you get thrown out.
Hey, Johnny
I'm pretty sure the biggest guy in the bar is just gonna stand up, just kind of walk over and be like, "We got a problem here."
More
Discord, there's no big guy to do that. Well, apparently I was the big guy to throw Johnny Fox out. That's basically what the thing has amounted to, me being an internet bouncer for a guy who can't handle his fucking liquor. Well, not the first time. Not even close to the first time I've had to do that anyway, so it's appropriate.
Well, and what's Morpheus actually had some pretty like savage comments on your stream.
Yeah. It was brutal. The chat was crazy, man. I got donations. That's unusual. People were
when I get going, I do not hold back.
No.
I had the usual amount we have here on this show watching Cringing Over Coffee. That's never happened.
Hey,
and it wasn't the same people. Because if it was all like our same fans, I would say, okay, yeah, because they listened to our show, right? No, it was a whole different set of people. They just hate Johnny Fox. It's easy. It's the easiest content I've ever made.
Listen,
still put in 10 times more effort than he puts into any of his.
Shout out to Genius Anus for popping in the chat for a bit. So
I didn't even see I was like rolling through everybody, and it was wild. A lot of people came out because they had not heard from Johnny Fox in a while, and we had a celebration for the boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a short review of Johnny books would be a funny bit for our show now. I have a feeling other people are going to make fun of all of his other stuff, but his books are really underappreciated as to how bad they are. And I think with all of this focus on the
Yeah.
great independent authors, I think that a lot of people might get a kick out of like the worst independent author, you know? I think that's
Yeah.
fair at this point. The worst independent author, like when you think about video game stuff, I follow YouTuber Sid Alpha. He has a thing called the Dirty Devs. I don't know if you guys have seen it,
I
but
love
it's,
Sid Alpha.
Yeah.
yeah, I've followed him for a long time. I think that's a great concept. If any game developer did with their games what Johnny does with his books, they would have been banned from Steam ages ago.
Absolutely.
Ages ago. He pulls his books down, puts them up with a new title, says it's a different book. Pulls them down, puts it up with a new title, says it's a different book. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, we do not know 100% for sure, like for real, if some of Johnny's books may have sold more than Sam's. But what we do know is because if they did, he took them down. They don't count. Which is why no reputable author would ever do it like that. Right? No reputable author does this. But he does to try and manipulate his numbers. And so because of that reason, Sam, I actually went and looked and did the math. You have sold 100 times as many books as Johnny Fox currently.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I'm not either. Or any no, you could actually put, I could have said 100 billion. You know why? Because what times 0 isn't 0? That's his official numbers. He sold 0 books because he took down all the books that he sold, so they don't count.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And I'm saying maybe it really, people overlook Johnny Fox for shit like this. But if that was a video game developer, think of the videos that would be made about that guy. You know, lazy asset flipping developer that puts in no work, puts up his game on Steam, then takes it down, delists it, renames it, and puts it back up. He does this like 12 different times.
They would be all over him.
They would ban him. Steam would just not even play that fucking game. Amazon, for whatever reason, doesn't care. You know?
Yeah.
But he's a literary fraud and a plagiarist, you know? And I think that's so funny. So in my humble opinion, I put forth to you, because our audience seems to be, you know, literary up to date. Please, audience, anybody at all, or any of the authors, show me a worse example of like a scummy independent author than Johnny Fox, Jack Pierce. Show me one. Who is a worse scumbag, dirty author than Jack Pierce? I think he does at least get the distinction for being the worst one, because he's engaged in plagiarism. He's lied about having a major publishing deal, which was easily verifiably false, right? And in the process, he made the biggest publisher in the world nervous about him, to the point that they had to contact their legal department. And now what he's doing, right, is statistics fraud. He's frauding the metrics to try and get SEO numbers to think he has the new book, because he's under the impression that your book's only going to sell well when it releases, so he keeps re-releasing. I'm pretty sure it's illegal. And we'd have to ask some of the guys that have been publishing, because I'm not obviously in public, right?
I'm not sure if it's illegal, but I do know that shit will get your KDP account like banned if you do it too.
Whether or not, if we dispute how much of those first books my brother wrote, it doesn't matter, because he keeps taking his book down, renaming it with a new cover, and then saying it's a different book.
That's wild.
Yeah. And so Sam, one book you sold makes you infinitely bigger seller than Johnny Fox. That's the bar. Because he's never sold any, according to Amazon.
Wow, that's
even Reddit. If you remember, there's a Reddit thread. If you look up Jack Pierce author Reddit AMA, it'll still come up. He's a deleted user now, but that's not the way Reddit works. It deletes that, but he still says, "I'm Jack Pierce.
right.
Here's my books. I'm a best-selling author. Ask me anything." And Reddit said, "No, you're not." Like the Reddit bot immediately was like, "This isn't true," and closed the thread. So yeah, audience, homework for anybody listening, anybody that cares. Find me a worse author, like as a person and within literary like norms than Johnny Fox. You might say, "Oh, well, Stephen King says crazy shit on Twitter." Yeah, but he's not like defrauding like the ISBN system to try and get re-releases on the same book for 5 years, right? Stephen King's not a plagiarist. He's just a crazy lefty. So anybody that can think of an author worse than Johnny Fox, I'd love to hear it, because I'm pretty sure they'd have to be a pretty awful person.
I'm sure we could find someone, but no one as infamous. That's the key here. Like,
no, they probably would be more infamous than him. That's the other thing. To be that notable of an awful person and also completely not noteworthy. He barely met the threshold. He was so proud he got 6,000 subscribers, and I'm like, that's exactly why you got a Kiwi Farms thread, though. Because all the other times we tried to get a Kiwi Farms thread, they were like, "Who is Johnny Fox? He's a nobody."
Yeah, listen. We've only got like 25 subs on the Whitfield Report live channel here on Rumble, which is, I mean, I'd love more subscribers, but I'm not like, subs is a weird thing on platforms. Like, I love getting new
outside
subs
of YouTube, because they all work different. Platform by platform, they work differently, basically.
Yeah. So,
but I hate to sit there and get bored down in the algorithm thing. It's the same thing with Johnny Fox. People are like, how did he get popular if his shit's so bad? There's an algorithm for that. People want background noise. They were mostly just watching catfishing videos. They didn't really care about Johnny, but then he made himself their friend. And then he decided one day that he was a dickhead. And wow, people find that to be weird behavior. Shock of shock.
Well, he decided that he wanted to like try and fuck part of the audience, and yeah, that's not.
Hey, we don't know if it was just part. Maybe he wanted to fuck them all. Okay, you're being very exclusionary, Sam.
Johnny would do that.
I mean, maybe.
And then, yeah, even as a live streamer, he's a live streamer that sits there hitting on women in his chat live. I've dug around the depths of the internet, boys, just to find weird normie people that we could like fuck with, jump in their stream and like gaslight them into something funny. Just make up characters, do improv. Me and Shmuley do that all the time. I've seen some shit on YouTube. I've never seen a streamer just sitting there hitting on his chat before. That was new. So Johnny Fox, I mean, he gets credit for some things, right? He's the biggest loser ever in the literary world until proven otherwise, right? I've stated my case. Somebody has to prove me wrong. Johnny Fox is the biggest piece of shit in the literary community ever.
Now, to be fair, like Max, there was a point in the Whitfield Report, and you can ask Apex about this, where I would hit on like female audience members, but the difference is
Sam waited patiently to come to his own defense here. Go on.
The difference is they would come onto the stream and talk with me and flirt back at me. It was a whole bit.
No, I think Jet flirted back with him. I've just never seen that before. That's not like, it's not common.
No, but what I'm saying is like
you can get away with it because you're Sam, motherfucker.
Well, and they actually came on
the
stream to flirt with me, so too. No, they did.
I am not saying they didn't. I am believing your story 100% and just saying with that big grin on your fucking face. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, they sure did. Sammy charmed the fucking pants off of them, figuratively, of course.
Yeah, well, and then
Johnny Fox can't do that. That's not fair. He doesn't have that superpower.
Yeah, well, he does have cripple charisma then?
No, very few people do.
He's just got retard rage.
Apparently. So.
And virgin.
Well,
virgin. That's it. I was gonna put something with just virgin.
Johnny Fox is a virgin with rage.
Yeah, that's for sure. I believe that was his first username. It was like Virgin Rage or Raven Rage or something like that. He's still. Hey, you gotta give it to a guy who he will stick to being the thing that he is almost, through his whole life now. He's gonna be pushing 40 soon. When Johnny Fox turns 40, he's gonna become a wizard, and I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble.
My favorite is when he became like CEO of a company.
Yeah. Fake CEO add to his list. Yeah. See the Kiwi Farms people, they like him now because of the gross shit. But I always appreciated his like fake businessman thing the most. Like, because he doesn't know how like social interactions work. So of course he also doesn't know how business works because of that.
The thing of it is like I did do like the fake businessman thing like as a teenager, but my thing was actually like more legit than his was.
He's 36.
Yeah.
As a teenager, yeah, I'm sure you carried a fake briefcase to school. You're probably that kind of guy.
I short of that, I was pretty nerdy. So
let me ask you this, Sam. This will answer the question. Did you, or do you now, or have you ever had a pocket protector?
No.
Okay.
Also, no.
Okay. You get a pass. I will not be putting Sam or Morpheus in any lockers, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't even know where he would find, but you know who has is Gavin McGinnis. He still has a pocket protector. So.
I think even doing it ironically is just a hard pass,
Yeah, no, that's completely what he does. He's trying to do the Michael Douglas character from Falling Down. That's like that's Gavin's whole bit.
It works in that movie because it's not a bit though. It's who the character.
Hey Max. Yeah. If you were to shove either Sam or I into a locker, what would you do? What would you do with our chair?
You put it in front of the locker so you can't get out.
Now you just failed that question.
Yeah.
How did I fail the question?
You're supposed to have fun with the fucking chair before you return it.
Oh, no. That would be suspicious as fuck. And then see, yeah, you're thinking like the chair is fun. I get it. But you got to think like a bully for a second, okay? Every second you're in that locker, somebody could come find you. And if I go out on your wheelchair as a big old giant, riding around having a grand old time, leaving you in the locker, they're going to notice. And they're gonna be like, "Hey, where's Morpheus?" And I'm gonna be like, "Wee!" riding your chair around. It's probably gonna get me caught.
That's not my problem.
Right, but it is mine, so I didn't fail that question.
Okay, if you were not a giant, you would have failed that question.
No, I think anybody, if they see just somebody riding around in your wheelchair, it'd probably be a cause for concern as to why you're not in it.
I guarantee you.
Then you got to stall, right? Because the whole point of the exercise is to keep you in the locker as long as possible. So then you got to like bullshit the teachers and stuff like, oh, I don't know, I just saw the chair and just decided to have a ride, But
yeah,
anything you can do to prolong how long you stay in the locker for, because that's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, gents, I actually have to call it an evening. So,
gonna go stuff yourself into a locker for the night.
Something like that. So, I'm gonna stuff myself somewhere. That's for sure.
Well,
so
I am again sorry to hear about your grandmother, and I do hope that your week kind of turns a bit brighter. And it's been a pleasure as always, sir.
Likewise.
If I may, before we go, I would like to mention my buddy's game that he released last month. It's called The Source.
Oh yeah.
It's more of a visual novel, but it's a visual novel dealing with AI and sci-fi stuff. Pretty cool.
Dope.
Cool.
That's almost reading a book.
Is it out on Steam?
Available on Steam. Yep. On Steam for like $6.
Nice.
The developer's name is Octopuses. It's just is a buddy from the Gwent community.
Send me a link, Morpheus, and I'll link it in the show notes. So
will do.
But anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in. And wow, we had like 15 people in chat tonight. So thanks everyone for coming out. Thanks to both of you gentlemen for co-hosting, and we'll talk to y'all down the next one.
Later.
So, later.
Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida. Thanks for listening to The Whitfield Report on the NGC Network. Please visit Sam's website at www